In this section, we're going to be doing more of the same we did previously. The only difference here is we're going to be finding the area. So in this first one, it says a rectangle has a length of 8.2 centimeters and a height of 42 millimeters. What is the area of the square in square millimeters? So we're okay with the bottom one because we already have that in millimeters, but we need to work on the length of 8.2, so we need to convert that. So we'll start with 8.2 centimeters. And if you look back on your conversions, we're basically going from centimeters to millimeters, and if you remember, there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, or 1 centimeter contains 10 millimeters. And so you can hopefully see that I want to use this one right here, so I'm going to write 10 millimeters over 1 centimeter, and just like I would hope then, the centimeters divide out, and so you just multiply straight across the top, and this would end up with 82 millimeters. And then we can draw a rectangle to kind of show the work. And we've just determined that the length is 82 millimeters. And they already gave us that the height was 42 millimeters. And the area of a rectangle is given by length times width. So we have the length being 82 millimeters times the height, which is 42 millimeters. And if you multiply those together, we'd have 82 times 42, 3,444 millimeters, square millimeters. So similar project, we're just using area formulas instead of adding up all the distance around. Next one says find the area of the triangle shown below in square inches. So they gave us the height in 10 inches, but the base is in feet. So we'll need to convert that feet. So for 1.5 feet, if you remember from the last section, again, you can look through your notes, that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So I need to put the 1 foot in the denominator and 12 inches in the numerator. And if you multiply across the top, 1.5 times 12 over 1, so essentially we're doing 1.5 times 12, which is 18 inches. So that means that base of the triangle is basically 18 inches. Instead of saying 1.5, we'll say 18 inches. Now we know the area formula, we need to write that down for a triangle, is equal to base times height divided by 2. So we just determined that the base is 18, and the height they gave us is 10, and then we'll divide all of that by 2. So the numerator basically would be 180, and 180 divided by 2 would be 90 square inches. Just got to make sure we're all in the same unit before we start doing the calculations for the formulas. All right, the next one says a square has a side of 1.6 yards. What is the area of the square in square inches? Okay, so for this one we're going to have to first convert 1.6 yards to inches. And again, feel free to pause or stop and get out your notes for this one from the previous section. And if you'll remember, on this one there are 3 feet and 1 yard. So I'll put 1 yard here, so it'll divide out equals 3 feet in the numerator. And that does help me cross out the yards and yards, but now I have feet, and I'm trying to get it down to inches. So think about it, there's 12 inches in a foot. So where should I put the 1 foot so that it divides out here? So if feet are on the top, then I put 1 foot down here is equal to 12 inches. And then we just need to multiply each of those across the top and each of those across the bottom like we've done. So this would be times 1.6 times 3 times 12. So 1.6 times 3 times 12, and we went up with 57.6 being 57.6 inches for a side of the square. So we could say each one of these sides is 57.6 inches. And for the area of a square, you could say length times width, but since they're the same, sometimes they write the area of the square as the one side squared. So here I could take 57.6 and square it, get 33176. Let me write that down really quick, guys. So this would be equal to 3317.76 square inches. Alright, and the last one for this section, it says find the area of a triangle shown below in square centimeters. Well, they gave us 80 centimeters for this side, but they didn't give us centimeters for this side. This one's almost, it's 1 meter, and if you count the steps for 1 meter, it's basically 100 centimeters. Now, again, to find the area of a triangle, it's going to be equal to base times height divided by 2. They didn't give us the base, but because it's a right triangle, we can do like we did similarly in the previous page and do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now a and b are the legs, so in this case we could say that maybe that's a squared, we don't know that. B squared we know is b is 80, so it would be 80 squared, and the hypotenuse is always c, so that would be 100 squared. So this would be a squared plus 64 with 2 zeros after it is equal to 1 with 4 zeros after it. And then we need to solve that, so I can subtract 6,400 from both sides. And again, you can use a calculator to confirm these if you'd like. And the a squared is equal to 3,600. And then the last step you would do is take the square root of both sides to wind up with a is equal to 600, or 60, sorry, 60. So this is 60 centimeters. And now I can use the formula from the, I can basically do the base, which is 60 times 80 divided by 2. So that should be 2,400. So let's check a couple of these with the calculator just to be sure. So we had, let's see, 10,000. I'm just going to go back and check my arithmetic. Minus 60,000, 6,400. And then we took the square root of that. And got 60 just like I showed, and now we're finding the area to show that it's 2,400. We're going to do 60, actually I'm going to put that in a fraction bar. 60 times 80 divided by 2. 2,400 square centimeters, since everything's in centimeters now. Alright, I hope that was helpful. Please use your notes on the section quiz, and good luck.